Show me the colors. Yes, I love that. The idea that, each and every one of us is unique and special, and that the fact that we're all different is actually the great news because it creates interest and fun, and life is better as a result. So today's talk is all about leaning into imperfection. And I want to talk a little bit about imperfection because what is it really? It is a person's opinion about something, right? I mean, the imperfection that I perceive in myself might be different than what you see in me, or the imperfection I see in the world around me might be different than what somebody else sees. So who's right? So when we think about imperfection, I want us to take a moment to actually consider where the idea originated. So if I'm looking at myself and seeing myself as flawed and broken, then what I want to do is find out, where did that message come from? And is it in fact true? Because oftentimes we were told things as children. People would say, do this or don't do that. And we would, from our understanding at that age, whether 3 or 5 or 7, we decided what it meant. But we might have been mistaken. It might have meant something completely different. And we've interpreted it in a way that then stays with us for the rest of our lives. And we call it imperfection. But in fact, it might actually be the very thing that moves us into our greatest expression. Yes. So one of the affirmations I wanted to share today was, I embrace imperfection and discover profound possibilities. See, when we start to live from our authentic self, when we start to allow like the real us to truly come out and stand front and center, it can be a little bit scary because maybe people won't like us. But the reality is that is our essence, our divinity actually coming forward. And that is what's going to create a profound transformation. Something in life is going to really, really shift. So when we start to see that who we are is enough, we dive deeper into that essence and find the strengths and the wisdom that's always been there. It's just that we named it maybe something that was bad because somebody said it was. I was told when I was a little kid, I talked too much. Well, that's how I earn a living now. So what is the message? Should I just zip it because my parents didn't like the fact that I talked so much? Or should I continue to express what I choose to express, what brings me joy and happiness, knowing that the people who do listen are the ones who want that information, that what I was told as a child is irrelevant. So we begin to change that. And I went and saw the Tina Turner musical on Friday night. It was a lovely Mother's Day gift from my daughter and her boyfriend. And one of the things about her as a small child is she was singing in the choir, but she was dancing and loud and just, feeling the spirit and having this great time. And that was judged as bad. You don't do that in church. Now, fortunately for all of us who enjoy her music and everything that she did, what we see is that loudness, that dance, that excitement about the music and everything actually was her higher self in full expression. And it brought her a long ways. Now, sometimes it takes us a while. She was 40 when she started her rock and roll career. 40, yeah. Hard to believe. But I love the idea that we can move beyond a perceived limitation that somebody else has put upon us, and begin to instead see that within me is an incredible, incredible gift, and it's up to me to share it. So the journey that we're on is to live life and to do it to our highest and best possibility. And how do we do that? We begin by finding out who we are, not who people told us we are. It's about coming to a place of going, I'm going to stand up and stand out. And if people don't like it, they'll let me know or they'll disappear. And the ones who do like it or appreciate it will come closer. And so when we live from that authentic self, the journey becomes much, much easier. So our goal is to not practice perfection, but to recognize the beauty and possibilities available to us in imperfection. And that's when we begin to create a more expansive experience. So it's really, really exciting to do this. The idea that by leaning into imperfection, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, because we tend to get a little tunnel vision, right? We're busy going, well, here's how it needs to be done, or here's the way it has to be done, or here's what I should be doing. And I think when we ever use those type of phrases, I should do this, or I should do that. Again, I spoke about this, a couple months ago. Whose should are we living from? Is it something that I believe to be true, or is it something I was taught as a young person? And do I still believe it today? Does it serve my highest and best good? And does it serve the best good of all humanity, all life everywhere, beyond even humanity? So we want to pay attention to what we are, in fact, putting out into the world and what we believe to be true about ourselves. And then can we live from our highest potential? And one of the things I've noticed about people, and I've seen where it gets its start, but somebody will be like, maybe they're an excellent public speaker, but they're really poor at accounting. So instead of public speaking, they go, I really want to get good at accounting. So all of their energy goes to working out this thing that's difficult. And where we learned to do that was in the school system. Yes, in the school system. We weren't necessarily praised for the great things we did. We might have been criticized or ridiculed for the things we didn't do well, and then told we need to do those better. So my daughter is an example. She's a singer, and singing, doing music is like her life force. It makes her very happy. In school, the grades 6, 7, and 8, she was struggling with math. And we had a meeting with the teachers a few times. And one of the meetings we had was with the principal, because I really felt that Genevieve was being treated a little bit roughly. So we had this conversation. And one of the things at one point, the principal sat back and said, well, Genevieve, you really need to set some things aside and really buckle down and focus on your math. And I turned to her and I said, you need to pass it. You need to get enough to pass the math. That's it. And I got quite a dirty look from him. But the thing is that we have trained people to not excel at their gift, but rather to try to excel at the thing that's difficult for them. And if we really think about that, does it make sense? I personally don't think so. I think we should find our gifts and put all of our attention there, or the majority of our attention there. It's not that we don't need to know how to reconcile a bank account, but we do need to really celebrate our gifts and talents. So I want you to think about this week, what comes naturally to you? Like, what is the thing you do that's so easy, that requires no effort whatsoever, that maybe you dismiss because it's so easy, and you think, oh, everybody can do this. Because the truth is, not everybody can, but you can. So when we look at that, we might look at the things that were imperfections, or the things we're good at that we've, dismissed, and start to look at, who am I as a whole person? Who am I when I'm all alone with my own thoughts and there's nobody to impress? Who am I? What brings me joy? What in my life feels fulfilling and satisfying? We want to really start to find out who we are so we can be that. I know that sounds silly, right? I have to be who I am. But think about it. So often there's a part of us going, oh, I wish I was like that. I wish I had this talent. I wish I looked like this. I wish I was this tall or this thin. Or, yeah, we do this. Anybody else do this besides me? Yeah, we do this. Stop it. Because you are created unique and special. And what you bring to the world at this point in time is essential. It's not optional, it's essential. It's needed. That's why you're here on the planet, because you are needed. You are a required piece in this mosaic called life. And it's up to you to find you and then give that into the world. One of the comments in the Science Mind, from the Science Mind, is everything in existence, including what we perceive as flaws, is divinely perfect. By shifting our perception and leaning into imperfection, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities and cultivate self-acceptance and a deeper connection to the divine presence within and around us. So we actually deepen our experience of God or spirit. And I know some people don't like the word God. So God is a word that can't even begin to describe the infinite. So we could use soul, we can use spirit, we can use, God, goddess, we can use any word you like, Fred, doesn't matter. The word that we use to describe something that truly is indescribable is irrelevant. But I just want to make sure you understand my use of the word God. I see it as energy. Everything is that. There is only energy and nothing else. So with that understanding, we begin to view the world from a deeper sense of connection. We start to see our oneness. We realize that we are all connected, not separate, but actually connected at that universal subjective level. So that's the place where we are one. We may appear as individuals, and we are the individualized expression, but to the degree that we live our true individuality, rather than trying to conform to somebody else's idea of right and wrong or to somebody's way of being, but to find in our own self, who am I? What makes my heart sing? What is it that delights and excites me? What is it that I want to bring into the world today? How do I want to live? And just know that the universe only has one answer for you, always, only one. And the answer is yes. Yes. So what is it that you want? What is it that you really believe is yours to do? So as we start to really experience our unique place, we start to realize that the universe actually is like this incredible tapestry, and every piece of it is essential to form that picture, whatever that is. So we want to really begin to understand our wholeness, realize that oneness has all these pieces, but all of these pieces, like a puzzle, go together and create the whole. Nothing can be left out. So what we might judge as imperfect may in fact be the most perfect thing of all. And so it's up to us to take a look and to go, why is it that I judge this as imperfect? What we perceive as our imperfections are not shortcomings, but essential aspects of our being. The yin yang symbol, it's white and black, but at one point there's a bit of both within the other. We have to embrace all of us. What we perceive as good and beautiful and fabulous, the part of us we want to show people. And then there's the part of us that we hide, part of us that maybe we judge as bad or wrong, negative. What we want to do is embrace all of it, because all of it creates the wholeness. All of it allows us to be who we truly are. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to live life fully. And it can only happen if we're living from our own essence. So that's the work that we're working on right now, is knowing that I'm not separate from the universe. I'm one with it. We're not isolated, but rather expressions of the divine, that we are intricately woven together in the fabric of existence. Embracing imperfection allows us to honor our interconnectedness and to recognize that our flaws are part of this grand symphony of creation. It's a great phrase. Because you think about a symphony, right? All the different elements of the music, all of it coming together to create one sound. And if one piece were missing or one wrong note gets hit, it throws the whole thing off. All of it is needed to produce the effect. And so it is the same with us. When we look at the world around us, we might look at it and go, whoa, this is awful, terrible, or this is a bad thing, or that's a good thing. But what if all of it is taking us somewhere? That in our hopes for creating a peaceful world that is equitable and loving and respectful and kind, how do we create that? Well, there's only one way. We have to be it. Yes, we have to be it. I have to choose that day by day. You get to choose it day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, whatever. It's like as we come to understand our own self-worth and our brilliance and all of that, then we begin to create space for something bigger and more magnificent to show up. We have to see our own worthiness. We were born. We're here. There's a reason we're here. And we should never take that lightly. We should take it with great joy and celebration. As we embrace our imperfection, it means embracing ourselves fully, acknowledging our inherent divinity, and then celebrating our uniqueness in the world. I mean, think about it. It would be really boring if everybody was like me, right? Everybody's a minister, everybody's a woman. Like, that wouldn't be a particularly interesting world to live in. So what we're striving for here is to shift our perception. And a good way to do that is to really explore what I'm feeling and why. So we can go into, one of the things I like to do is if I have a big reaction to something, then one of the things I do immediately is ask myself, when have I felt this before? When have I felt this? Not when have I had this same experience, but when have I had these emotions before to this degree? Because when I take a look at that, what I find is more often than not, it goes right back to my childhood. That something happened that imprinted on me in such a way as for me to take it as capital T truth about me. When in fact, it may have just been someone's projection. So we just want to pay attention to the way that we live, the way that we think, and to really allow ourselves to delve into the transformative power of shifting perception and embracing imperfection as a catalyst for personal and spiritual growth. We can do that. We absolutely can do that. What we want to do is really notice the places where we're not doing the best that we can, allowing ourselves to, really cultivate self-acceptance. And then our connection with God or spirit, universe, whatever we want to call it, expanding that. If I spend time living in that place of oneness, what does that mean overall for my journey? As I embrace the diversity and the uniqueness, and from that place of oneness, I see that everything exists. And oneness doesn't mean sameness or uniformity. It means that we're all connected. It's like if you're looking at that tapestry that's hanging in the museum, right? It's a series of single threads. But if you were to withdraw one of those threads, the eye would immediately go to that spot, right? It would stand out. We would know something was missing. So when you look at your life and you look at what it is you're doing or what you bring to the table, when you can value it to the degree that what I'm doing is essential, it's not optional, it's essential. What might that look like? If I start to see myself as an essential part of this universe, how might that change my perception of what I'm doing and whether it's right or wrong? How do we do that? So we want to really accept our own uniqueness. We want to realize we're contributing to the whole, that by our participation, we actually make the world and life a better place. And so we want to recognize and honor the diversity appreciate the interconnectedness of all beings and just how rich that is in our experience. There is this opportunity to be the powerful, positive, remarkable beings that we came in as, right? We just have forgotten. We come in as little babies, come in as these little beings, and we're given to people who may or may not know how to give us the space to develop our greatness. They might think it's their job to make a child into something acceptable by society. And believe me, I understand that fully, because did that. Yes, my first 3 kids did that. And then you wake up one day and go, this isn't working, because they're all different. Every child is different. Every child is unique. And so we want to create this space where we can be who we are and celebrate each other. That instead of looking at something that's different than the way I would do it and call it bad, what happens instead is I look at it and I go, wow, that's a cool way of doing it. And maybe I do something different as a result. Or maybe I look at it and go, wow, that's a unique way of doing it. And I continue to do what I've been doing. I don't have to conform to somebody else. They don't have to conform to me. We don't have to do everything the same. We get to do things in a myriad of colors. I love that song, Colors, right? I get to just be in this place of possibility, creating whatever. And by celebrating the variety and breadth of human experience, we develop a greater appreciation for the intricacies and complexities of our existence. And that's what's really, really exciting, is to sit back and go, who I am is enough, more than enough. Who I am matters. So as we begin to see the imperfections that we can weave together into the tapestry of our life, we start to see how vibrant and beautiful and remarkable it is because of the variety of experiences. And perfection truly is an illusion. I mean, we're all created perfect, whole, and complete, as we are. Imperfection is an aspect of being. Perfectionism is sort of setting the bar at an unreasonable place, so I can't achieve it. And that comes from our low self-esteem or our doubts about ourselves. So what we want to do is really embrace this journey of self-discovery and transformation, and begin to look at the places in our lives where our imperfections are asking us to shift our perception. Yes. Because sometimes you get kind of bumped up against a wall going, why aren't things working? But maybe if we just turned a little bit, we would see a new place that, if I do this, then things change. So in The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes wrote, unity and uniformity are not the same thing. No 2 blades of grass are alike. So what does that mean spiritually? It means that incarnated within each one of us is not only a divine spark, not only an incarnation of the living spirit of the cosmos, but a unique presentation of the cosmic whole, if we can judge the unknown by the known. Also, he wrote, the mental attitude of a practitioner is one of denial toward every false condition that opposes the principle of life as one of absolute perfection. God's world is perfect, and this is the principle we have to demonstrate. Now, from our human perspective, it may not appear perfect, but that's from our limited vantage point. We're viewing things in a way that actually limit. So I was noticing I'm playing a word game on my phone as I'm waiting for my doctor's appointment. And, I've got all these letters and I'm trying to form words, and I've got a couple of words that I'm really stuck on. I'm like, I have no idea what this is, and then it's something silly like still, or, or okay, or life. Like, you know, these simple words that I know, and yet as I'm going through it, it's like, why can't I find this word? And then when it comes up, I'm like, oh, duh. But that's the thing, right? We get on a train of thought. So as I'm looking at the letters, I have a train of thought of what those letters should do, the way they should be sorted. And as a result of that, there's no openness for something to be different. So we really want to open ourselves up to something different. And one of the things that's really clear about this teaching is we're teaching that each of us actually have a body, that we actually have a subjective life, and that we actually are spirit. Body, soul, and spirit represent a point where individuality is accentuated in universality. We're forced to the conclusion that there is but one mind. Each individual, however, is a unique variation of the universe. No two people are alike, and yet all people are rooted in that which is identical. So we're all made of this same stuff, the God stuff, you know, that energy that is life. We're all made of that. And yet we all show up looking a little bit different, which is kind of exciting. I kind of like that. So there's a quote here by Eugene Kennedy. There would be no need for love if perfection were possible. Love arises from our imperfection, from our being different and always in need of the forgiveness, encouragement, and that missing half of ourselves that we're searching for, as the Greek myth tells us, in order to complete ourselves. And it's not that there's a part of us actually missing, there's a part of us that we're not acknowledging. And so we want to acknowledge that. We want to start to see our own wholeness, our own completeness with whatever is going on in our lives. We, in fact, are complete expressions. So what I'd love for you to consider doing this week, I know it's summertime, but while you're sitting out on your deck or, you know, just having your morning coffee, take some time to write in your journal and give yourself an opportunity for self-reflection and exploration. What is going on in me? What things are happening that I think are defining me? What things bring me joy and fulfillment? What things are causing me struggle? And just take some time for that. And if you notice an area that you're judging or criticizing, maybe it's time to do a little bit of forgiveness work on that. To sit back and go, no, I am creating that in my mind. And so I'm going to recreate it in a new way. I'm going to do it different. So we can begin to shift what we're doing and how we're doing it. Self-reflection, forgiveness, and letting go. That is what we want to do for this week. So take some time to explore your own divinity. Take some time to explore your own beauty and grace, your talents and gifts, and then live from that place of absolute knowing that you are truly a divine expression of this one life.